everyone. I'm Patrick Hebert doing an update. I'm actually in Costa Rica, our tennis near the property that we've just acquired here, and we're doing some permitting and meeting with the politicians and all the fun stuff you have to do when you start a new community. But Eric was kind enough to do a great walkthrough of the property in Coronado, and so we could all have an update. And he is there right now taking videos of walking through the homes and walking through the orchard and all the different things that are there. And so that's going to be great for everybody to see lots of progress going on. And at the end of that, I will update you on the rest of the status of things. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to head out to site and have a little bit of a site update today. I'm just on the beautiful Cinta Costera. And the reason I started filming a little bit earlier is I've always wanted to show the highway improvements. So I'm going to show you them building the new bridge as we pass over the Bridge of the Americas. And then I'm going to show you the new highway expansion that gets us out to site much faster. And I was really happy when it was completed. Just approaching the overpass that was constructed at Coronado. I don't know if any of you were ever stuck out here, but when it was completed, it's been fantastic. You can really zip from Panama City out to site now. Site here on house number 5. It's a Ray Anita model. Let's take a look.
This home is the latest one that we've started, and it's a great example of the very substantial retaining wall that's required along the backside to hold back that earth. As a civil engineer myself, I'm quite impressed, and obviously large footings going in, and this is going to be their view out to the ocean. So this one takes a little bit longer to get going because of all of the foundation and retaining wall work that has to get done. But as soon as this is poured and the slab gets in, it'll go quickly. I'm on house number 1. Obviously, we're not going to get into the lot numbers because we value the privacy of our clients, but let's go take a look. I call it house number 1 because it's the one that's furthest along. It started second, but the one that started first is pretty big. So let's go take a look at this one. It's at the windows stage. Let's go see. Got some guys working on the carport right now. They'll be installing the ceiling underside. Here we've got the ceilings are in. We've got the walls painted. This one has a fantastic view out to the mountains. It's going to be lovely. We got the upper windows in already. This one's been modified to have two small bedrooms, sharing a bathroom in between, which I think is a very nice use of space. I think some of the clients have wanted to copy this idea. Let's go outside. Let's go look at the master bedroom, and then we'll go outside. Here we are in the master bedroom. It's got the ceiling in, windows in. This will be their sliding doors to go outside, and their view out the windows at the mountains. This is the view from leaving the master bedroom out onto the patio. Here's the exterior of the home. See, it starting to take shape. One more window to go in there. Some exterior lights. Going to finish this patio. And I was actually just over there taking a video of this house perspective from home number 5. But it's a lovely day here in Panama. And this is an example of a carport that we're building, and we're keeping the batteries and electrical outside of the house, and one of the other closets, quote unquote, is for storage. Let's just take one final look at this house before we head over to some of the other ones. Beautiful. Here we are up at the restaurant site. Let's do a quick 360, looking out towards the ocean. You can hear some of the houses working over there in the distance. Here we are at house number 2. It's a big one. It's our toucan model. It's been customized a little bit. Looks out towards the ocean. There's a little bit of insulation panels waiting to go in. Otherwise, most of the roof is done and the scratch coat is up. Let's go take a look. Actually, I shouldn't have said scratch coat. We got the finish coats on here. Over on the garage, you can see an example of the scratch coat. Anyways, let's go inside. See how this house is doing. Here we are approaching the master bedroom with some sliding doors to outside. Got a walk-in closet here on the left. This will be the washroom. It's gonna be a tub going right here. This is the view out of the washroom. Fantastic. Another window here, looking out towards the ocean. Now, it's almost impossible to show a house under construction without giving some background on why we see these fine lines. So when the final coat goes on, as it sets, it contracts a tiny bit, and you're going to get these fine lines, and that is normal in all construction with Repeo. And what we do is we fill. This is an example of what it looks like when it's filled. This is filled with an elastomeric grout, which can expand and shrink a little bit, so the cracks are contained. And when you walk through the house, you'll see these lines all over the place, and that is normal. Taking a look from the master bedroom outside, we're gonna have a plunge pool over there, an outside patio and kitchen area. The roof is going in. You guys are working on putting scratch coat on the columns. Heading into the side rooms. See how they quiet it out and then sand it down. A great room. Kitchen over there in the distance. Here's the exit. Garage underway. That's the toucan model. I'm on site here on house number 4, which looks out over the ocean. It's at the stage where the roof is up, the columns are up, and the M2 is installed. Let's go take a look. This is a Continga model, and we've pushed the back of it out a little bit to have some storage space. Let's go around the side here. You guys are installing the last bits of the conduit. Always keep in mind with these updates that it is a construction site, and having this stuff flying around is just part of the job. We don't leave it messy, but it is a construction site. So this is probably the master bedroom looking out again. And you can see how this M2 construction works. We get the columns up, the insulation with the grid goes there, and then all the electrical conduit is run, and the lines are pulled in afterwards. This one has a great patio. The ceiling isn't in yet, but the insulation is. That gives you a good example of what this stuff looks like before the scratch coats go on. See what it looks like looking outwards. It's going to be their great room. You probably recognize the cell-story windows from the other house that I was showing, but yeah, it's going to be great to sit here, look up towards the ocean. Last of the homes, let's go take a look at house number 3. It's also a Continga model with the back pushed out a little bit for some storage. It's at a very similar stage. It's got the M2 up and the conduit in. It's going to start with the scratch coats pretty soon. Let's go see the view they're going to have. That's their view out towards the sunset over on that side. Back towards the ocean this way. And the sunrise will be over there. This home is at a similar stage as the one that we just looked at. And it'll start transforming rapidly as soon as the scratch coats and final coats get in. And then it goes quickly with windows. So house number 2 is a modified Katinga, which turned into a 3-bedroom, which I thought was a good use of space. This one is more back to the original design. It's a 2-bedroom. Let's go take a look. This is the bedroom number 1. 2 windows. We've got a bathroom for everyone's use that's accessible from the great room. And then if we go into the master bedroom, we've got a side window, got a view out towards the sunset, another side window out onto the patio, and then we've got the master bathroom in here. So that's an example of another layout for the Katingas. It's worth updating that the water lines are all in, and I'm just over by the welcome center at lot number 3. Here we have a large takeoff for any of the site requirements that we need big amounts of water for. I'll go show you the water tower after this. We got a shut-off valve down there, down about 3 or 4 feet. We can turn off the system and isolate it. And then this is an example of the current pop-up for the lot. Obviously, we'll run that back underground and connect it to the home. But yeah, all the water lines are in. And all the roads are now roughed out. They've got this heavy gravel on it, which will hold up well for the cement trucks. And we'll slowly widen them a little bit as needed. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a while before the roads are in a finished state because, as you know, we don't want to destroy them with heavy concrete trucks.
I'm over by the entrance gate. It hasn't changed, but it's one of the first things that we're going to upgrade when we start building amenities. So there'll be a guardhouse there. It's going to be great. Let's go take a look at the water tower for those of you who haven't been out here for a while. This thing has been up probably about a year. It's one of the first things that we put up. Let's take a look at it. It's 30,000 gallons and it's been operating perfectly.
Let's do a quick update of the food forest. We've got some coffee growing away in there between the cocobolos. And otherwise, the food forest is doing great. We actually had our first harvest of yucca. We pulled out about 160 pounds, I believe. Some of these taller ones were left, but the ones that we yanked, they're already growing back. We got our lime trees over here. Jorge put them in a circle. So plenty of margarita supplies in the future. Got some oranges growing over here. More limes. This guy over here, which is a zapote. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it's a little bit like a papaya. The coconut trees are doing very well. And I'm always mystified by the dragon fruit here. You can see one growing here. I'm out here about once a week, and every time I'm here, this guy seems to grow about 6 inches. So I'm curious when we're going to get some fruit, but they're growing fast. We got some sugar cane, getting really big. It's about 12 feet tall. Back into the limes, they're doing well. We got some tangerines over here. Soursop. This thing's, yeah, everything's like 12 feet. More coconuts over there. We got the Nispero. Again, I have to confess my ignorance on that one. But the main thing is to show you things are doing quite well. Here we got some guava, doing really well. And a couple weeks ago, I thought I was the one who had discovered that we had first banana, but Patrick informed me that no, we've had bananas for a while and the guys had already eaten them, but it's still nice to see them going. This one's like, man, 20 feet. It's interesting because the bananas were, when they came, They were about 2 feet tall, and now they're 20. So things are growing fast. Over here, we got some cinnamon and apricots, all going really well. This one's looking really healthy. This is a apricot as well. So yeah, that's a little update on the food forest. It's doing really well. We're pretty proud of it. And we've actually opened up the backside of it past the bamboo. Let's take a quick look at that. We have a little bit of an update as to where the paddle court might be going. These big trees here are providing a lot of shade, and that should be the perfect spot to have an all-day paddle court where you can play without being blasted by the sun. Otherwise, this is the future location of the hydroponic gardens.
Thanks, Eric, for doing that. I really appreciate it. Did a great job. It's fun walking around there and seeing all the things that are going on. And so I really want to just give everybody a little bit of update on two departments of the government that have been slow for us in the whole permitting stage. So Mi Ambiente, which means my environment, it's the environmental department, is really putting us through the ringer. It's for a good cause. Let me explain. The Ambiente, the environment department, has pushed us up to what it's called a tier 1 environmental permit. And what that really means is they're really looking very closely at us, because ultimately they want to use us as the kind of the poster child of how to do developments in Panama. The fact that we have completely off-grid homes, all solar powered, the fact that we don't cut trees down to make roads. We use the existing roads that were there in the farm. We're very, adding or net positive from a tree standpoint, with all the orchard trees and everything that we added. So there's a lot of things that we're doing that are great, whereas a lot of developers, most developers, all the ones that I know, just do scorched earth. All the trees come down, and then they put cookie cutter rectangular lots beside each other like any suburb in the U.S. type of thing, and that's not what we do. So they're looking at what we do very carefully, and it's different for them. So we had a number of inspections. The last inspection was about a week and a half ago. Those are technical inspections where they check the well and they check, everything. But the good news is that that's the last of the inspections. The technical side of the Ambiente has moved it over positively with a thumbs up to the next department, which is legal, which is really should be just a rubber stamp, and then it goes to the minister to sign off, and then we have unlimited ability to do the rest of the homes and the amenities and everything. So we're just basically getting everything ready for that, putting as many things into the building permit stage so that we can hit the ground running when that happens. The other department that's been slow for us is Miviat, which is kind of the land use department. And they have a combined area entity that they work with called Dirección de pH, which is pH is pH, stands for horizontal propiedad. It's basically, if you see all the buildings in Panama City, they're like pH, Sky Residences, pH, Yacht Club, pH, Bella Vista, pH, whatever. Almost all the buildings are like that. And that's because the buildings have an HOA rules and regulations attached to that ownership on the title in your apartment there. It's very similar in residential communities. In order to have an HOA, you have to do this PH thing, which really is a list of rules that the community has to follow, and each title has that attached to it. So it's basically, so they do it like that or they attach it to the title so that somebody buys a lot and they have to abide by the rules, but they could sell it to somebody else. And if it's not attached to the title, then the second buyer can be, I didn't sign anything about those rules. I'm not following those rules. So that's why they attach it to the titles for each parcel or each lot that we're selling. And what that means is we tried to make a very, very, being freedom oriented, we tried to make a very, very light regulations and creative things that we do, with the DAO and the HOA and that sort of thing. So that, of course, went over their head, and they didn't really understand it. So what we're doing right now, just to get through this, and it should only be a couple more weeks as well, is basically give them what they want. They want to see a very, very standard HOA rules and regulations document so they can stamp it and feel good about it. And then the beauty of it is the law says that once the developer has created that initial HOA agreement, that the residents, once everything is turned over to the residents, and we're going to do that day one, then the residents have the ability to recreate the HOA rules and regulations themselves. And there's no rule, no regulations on the regulations on how they have to be done. So that's when we can initiate the DAO. We can change the way the HOA fees are charged. We can change anything we want. And it's just a matter of the people of the community deciding what it is they want. So that's very much in line with our freedom-oriented approach and philosophy. So I think that works great. It's unfortunate that we didn't know that up front and that this was going to cause the Miviat department and Peache so much angst. And so we just went, forget it. We're just going to go back to what you want to see, and we'll change it the moment you give us the stamp. So that's where things are at. Both the ambiente, the environment, and the Miviat, the land use, it should be within the next few weeks. That's what we're told. It's nothing that's holding it up other than Latin American mañana time life. So anyway, that's the update on that. I hope you enjoyed the update on the homes and we got the first bug here in Costa Rica. But we got a lot of things going on. A lot of stuff will certainly keep going on as soon as we get through this next step. But as you can see, some of the homes are really far along and are going to be ready for occupancy pretty soon. My goal is to see that before the end of the year, and we still have a chance of making that. So that's great. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all your time and your patience, and we're getting things rolling. It's pretty exciting. Bye.